With this power at our fingertips, ordinary men will become.
Hey there, my pixelated commandos! Today we're diving headfirst into enemy territory, navigating through the blocky corridors of gaming history to unearth the secrets of Wolfenstein. The game that taught us sneaking past Nazis and uncovering hidden treasures is just an 8-bit away from reality. And let me tell you, if you thought your grandpa's tales of war were wild, wait until you hear about the game that has players decoding secret messages left by the developers themselves. Trust me, it's a story so intriguing you'll wish you had a cheat code to uncover it all right now. But be patient, young spy, all will be revealed in due time. Now, let's jump into the history of Wolfenstein. In the early 1980s, the video game landscape was a wild and untamed Amazon jungle, with developers pioneering new territories in development entertainment. Enter Muse Software, a small but ambitious studio based in Baltimore, Maryland, spearheaded by the visionary programmer Silas Warner. Muse Software, previously known for educational and business applications, decided to take a leap into the realm of action-adventure gaming, and thus the concept of Wolfenstein was born. The original Wolfenstein game, titled Castle Wolfenstein, was released in 1981 for the Apple II, a home computer that was more accustomed to running spreadsheets than dodging virtual bullets. The game was a groundbreaking blend of action and adventure, setting players on a covert mission to steal Nazi plans and escape the fortress of Castle Wolfenstein. What set the game apart was its use of stealth mechanics, a novel concept at the time which required players to disguise themselves in enemy uniforms and manage their ammunition carefully, adding a layer of strategy previously unseen in video games. The development of Castle Wolfenstein was a testament to the creativity and ingenuity required to overcome the technical limitations of early home computers. The game's graphics, while simplistic by today's standards, were revolutionary at the time, offering a top-down view of the castle's layout that was both functional and visually engaging. The game also featured a complex AI for the enemies, which would search for the players, sound alarms, and engage in combat, adding depth and challenge to the gameplay. However, the game's portrayal of Nazis and the use of Nazi symbols stirred controversy, pushing the boundaries of what was deemed acceptable in video games. Despite the controversies, Castle Wolfenstein received critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay and technical achievements, laying the groundwork for the first-person shooter genre and establishing a legacy that would influence video game development for decades to come. In the labyrinth corridors of Castle Wolfenstein, players step into the boots of B.J. Blazkowicz, a name that sounds like it was forged in the fiery pits of an action movie script writing session. Our protagonist isn't your average Joe, or Joseph for that matter. He's an allied spy with a jawline you could use to cut glass, and a resolve as firm as the pixels that compose his digital being. Tasked with escaping the castle while gathering top-secret documents and dodging the ever-vigilant Nazi guards, Blazkowicz's mission was clear, simple, and packed with the kind of tension that could turn a casual gamer's hair white. But let's not forget about the villains of this pixelated saga, the Nazis, depicted with a level of villainy that would make even a Bond antagonist blush. They weren't your run-of-the-mill video game fodder. From the standard guards mumbling in German to the SS stormtroopers ready to raise the alarm at the slightest provocation, each enemy introduced a new level of dread and challenge to the game. And, of course, the piece de resistance, the sadistic Nazi officers, whose capture or elimination was often a mission objective, adding layers of strategy to the gameplay beyond mere survival. The narrative of Castle Wolfenstein was straightforward by today's standards, but at the time, it was a compelling call to arms that resonated with players. The game didn't just task you with running and gunning, it demanded stealth, strategy, and a fair bit of cunning to navigate the castle's many rooms, each teeming with danger. The story was woven through the gameplay with the ultimate goal of escaping the castle serving as both the beginning and the end of Blazkowicz's journey in this installment. However, the true depth of Castle Wolfenstein lay not in its plot, but in the way it immersed players in the high-stakes game of cat and mouse, blending action and adventure with a stealth mechanic that was ahead of its time. The game's emphasis on disguise and deception over brute force was a departure from the norms of the era, setting a precedent for future titles in the genre and establishing B.J. Blazkowicz as a different breed of hero, a silent infiltrator in a world where gunfire was the preferred language. Now diving into the gameplay mechanics of Castle Wolfenstein is like opening a treasure chest of vintage gaming gold. Except, instead of gold, it's filled with stealth tactics, strategic ammo conversations, and the constant threat of discovery by a pixelated Nazi guard. The game broke the mold by prioritizing cunning and stealth over the run-and-gun approach that would dominate later titles in the genre. Players had to navigate the complex layout of Castle Wolfenstein using cover, disguises, and a healthy dose of patience to avoid detection and engaging enemies on their terms. One of the game's standout features was its inventory system, which was quite sophisticated for its time. Players could loot keys from guards to unlock doors, acquire uniforms to blend in, and manage a limited arsenal of weapons and ammunition. This added a layer of resource management that required players to think twice before pulling the trigger. Running out of bullets wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a potentially game-ending predicament, pushing players to rely on stealth and strategy over sheer firepower. Speaking of strategy, did you know that subscribing to this channel is a proven tactic to enhance your gaming knowledge and improve your strategic thinking? It's like finding an extra stash of ammo just when you need it the most. So, if you enjoy sneaking through the corridors of gaming history and ambushing unsuspecting game facts, hit that subscribe button and join our squad. Now, back to the action. The combat in Castle Wolfenstein wasn't just about shooting, it introduced an element of risk with its alarm system. If a player was spotted or made too much noise, guards could trigger an alarm, swarming the area with enemies. This mechanic forced players to weigh the risk of engagement, adding a thrilling layer of tension to every encounter. The game also featured a variety of items and secrets scattered throughout the castle, encouraging exploration and rewarding players who took the time to search every nook and cranny. Finding secret rooms not only provided additional resources, but also added to the sense of accomplishment and discovery that made the game so engaging. But when Castle Wolfenstein hit the shelves in 1981, it wasn't just launching, it was practically parachuting behind enemy lines into the gaming industry, ready to set a new standard for what video games could be. But how did it fare in the grand battlefield of sales and cultural impact? First off, the sales. Castle Wolfenstein didn't just do well, it became a phenomenon. Although exact sales figures from the era resemble classified information, it's widely acknowledged that the game was a massive hit, spreading across various platforms like the Apple II, Commodore 64, and the MS-DOS. This wasn't just a game, it was a movement, inspiring a whole generation of gamers and developers alike with its innovative gameplay and narrative design. But let's talk impact, because Castle Wolfenstein did more than just entertain, it influenced. This game didn't just open the door for first-person shooter genre, it built the whole house, laying the foundation for future titles like Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, yes, the granddaddy of them all and actually the grandson in this gaming family tree. Its emphasis on stealth, strategy, and narrative immersion set a precedent, proving that video games could offer complex, engaging experiences beyond the simple arcade-style gameplay. However, Castle Wolfenstein's cultural footprint extends beyond its influence on the gaming genres. It sparked controversies about the portrayal of sensitive historical themes in video games, particularly the use of Nazi imagery and themes. While some praised the game for its bold narrative choices, others raised eyebrows, questioning the appropriateness of using such dark chapters of history as a backdrop for entertainment. This debate would foreshadow discussions around many future titles, highlighting the balancing act between creative freedom and sensitivity to historical content. Despite any controversies, Castle Wolfenstein's legacy is undisputed. It shows that video games could be more than just a pastime. Now let's unlock the secret vault of Castle Wolfenstein and spill the beans on its trivia. First off, did you know that Castle Wolfenstein was one of the first games to incorporate voice synthesis? That's right, those German phrases barked by the guards weren't just there to make your skin crawl, they were cutting-edge technology. The game used the limited computing power of early 80s home computers to digitally simulate voices, a feat that was nothing short of sorcery at the time. This innovation not only added to the game's immersive atmosphere, but also paved the way for voice acting in video games, a standard feature that we often take for granted. But here's where it gets even juicier. Silas Warner, the genius behind Castle Wolfenstein, embedded a secret message within the game. It wasn't a cheat code or a hidden level, but something far more personal. Warner included a digital signature of sorts, a way to sign his masterpiece without defacing the virtual canvas. This Easter egg remained a secret to most gamers until it was revealed years later, showcasing Warner's pride for his work and his subtle nod to posterity. And speaking of secrets, Castle Wolfenstein was notorious for its hidden rooms and passageways, a feature that encouraged exploration and rewarded the curious. But did you know that some of the secrets were so well hidden that they sparked an urban legend among the gaming community? If you know what it is, make sure you mention it in the comments to win the prize of being awesome. And there you have it, folks, the saga of Wolfenstein, a game that took us on a stealthy sprint through the corridors of gaming history, dodging Nazi guards and uncovering hidden treasures along the way. Thanks for joining me on this covert operation through gaming history. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep your uniform pressed. You never know when you'll need to sneak past the guards of obscurity for our next adventure. If you enjoyed peeling back the layers on the history of Wolfenstein, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.